The Jingler. Oh, Batman. Jingle me this, Batman.
The Jingler sounds like a pedophile. There's no way.
The Jingler?
He's like, I've got a quarter somewhere on my body. If you will grab it, then you win the game.
And I will sing
only 13 and under.
And I will sing you a song.
Dude, when we were growing up as kids, my mom, I love this because my mom had the understanding that we were wild kids and that we would just like run all over the place.
Right.
I grew up with 3 older sisters, so there were 4 of us. We were everywhere. And so instead of like making us not be in places where we could get kidnapped, she taught us how to avoid getting kidnapped. Which is good.
That's the move.
But we'd be on the beach and my mom would be like, okay, so you're walking and you look back and your dad and I aren't here and your sisters aren't here and a man comes up and I'm going to be the man and he comes up and grabs your hand. What do you do? And she grabs my hand, like starts pulling me down the beach. And she taught me to say, and this is clever, she taught me to go, let go of me. You're not my mom. You're not my dad. I don't know you. And it's like, that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
And mom was like, all right, that's good enough. Now go outside and play in a hotel in Miami.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
She's like, you can go to the pool alone. I don't give a shit. She's like, what do you say? Let go of me. You're not my mom. You're not my dad. I don't know you. And she's like, perfect. All right, head down to the pool. I'm going to be up here reading my Nora Roberts book.
You, my son, are ready. You go forth. Go forth and be one with the beach.
What is that? Oh, dude, I love it. Dude, she would read, we'd go on vacation. My mom, she'd read these when we weren't on vacation. But we would go in there and she would read Nora Roberts, total smut books.
Oh, yeah.
And she would fall asleep with her bookmark in the chapter in the front seat, and we would pull the book out and then just open the book to 2 pages behind it and read the last 2 pages in the car while she was asleep. Dad would be driving. We'd go down to Florida and it'd be like, Robert grasped Noresa's breast. He held it firmly and strongly. She felt weak at the knees.
You're just like, Mom, what is...
And she's just out asleep.
Mom.
Dude. She loved it. But here's the thing, man. You gotta get it from somewhere.
You know
what I'm saying?
You can. Gotta get it where you can.
She's a mom of 4 kids. God bless her. Look, the moms now have roses.
Right. They not only have roses, they have everything else you can fucking imagine. As well as... And the smut's gotten better.
Yeah.
People are
the
getting...
The smut has gotten better, you say?
The smut has gotten better.
Oh,
it's
here,
better,
here, sir.
Yeah, it's better written now. It's better, the limits have been tested. Smut now.
Would you go for a smut book? Would that do something
absolutely
for you?
Not. No, absolutely
nah.
Not. Because here's the thing. I would read it in my own head and I'd be like, that is a turn off right there.
Yeah.
Even if I do my own voices, it's not going to be great.
See,
not good.
I just understand the limits of my imagination.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that I, as a child, all the way up until I was old enough to start sneaking porn, which would have been probably like, I don't know, 14 or so.
Yeah.
Up until then, I had to use my imagination.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And now I don't have to use it, so I'm not gonna no more.
No, why would you?
I ain't gotta.
No.
You ain't gonna make me use my imagination to whack it.
Not
I got lotion and I got the God's best gift, which is the internet.
There is a rule for Rule 30. If you think it exists.
Yeah.
So that's your imagination, really. It's just like
what is that? So wait, clarify, please. What was that?
Rule 34. If you think there is pornography version of said thing, there is.
What's Rule 34 from what?
That's just the Rule 34.
Oh,
of the
just
internet.
Rule 34 of the internet.
Of the
okay,
internet.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed on that because I'm an idiot.
If you think there's something that's probably just it's out there. It's
absolutely.
Out there.
You can make it up.
Yeah.
We can make it up right now. Like,
no, and I don't want to because that's the imagination part because it's like. Literally go to the most fucked up thing you can think.
I do. I want a Salvador Dali one right now. Let me do it. I want to do it. I want to run one. I don't know why.
Go. What do you got?
A Nordic woman with crow wings in her hair slides like a baseball slide on a linoleum floor and sprays Lysol into a man's butt. I'll bet you we could find it.
Ooh. I think
I bet we could find it in Norway.
I feel like that would be Eastern European for sure. So it might not be Lysol spray, but it might be something close to it. Like,
you're right.
Lysol shit.
God, you're so good.
You know,
you're so good.
rather than Johnson and Johnson, it's Sven and Sven.
It's a Sven and Ven. It's not Lysol. It's Lysol.
Lysol.
She sprays Lysol in the booms.
Yeah, no, that it probably exists.
It's definitely not in English, but that exists. It's got to be some Eastern European shit.
Rule 34 of the internet.
Look at that, meaning that if something exists in real life or is made up, there will be a pornographic depiction of it. Cartoons, celebrities, and objects, and in some cases, these depictions go well beyond usual themes found in mainstream pornography. Well, I think I found a few of those in my day, Alex.
There's definitely been things you see, and then you're just like, well, I guess that part of my brain is rotted forever.
Oh, God. Dude, you know what ones fuck me up is it's not even dirty, filthy pornography. It's even worse. It's the ones where before the internet had the graphic warning graphic, it was just up to the title if that was going to be a nasty one. And I would click into something on YouTube. Like, I saw videos of people getting shot, and I didn't know it was going to be a video of them getting shot, dude.
The Rotten.com days, stuff
it would
like
be
that.
like, a woman defends herself from robber, and then it's like, she didn't defend herself. It was just a crazy, it was like the dirtiest, filthiest
she tried
rickroll.
Yeah, no.
Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, she tried.
That's
But dude, that shit's fucked up.
Yeah, that's a lot. And it was so accessible for so much of our adolescence on the internet, where there's like, hey, we don't know how this thing fucking works yet, so make it work.
For the longest time, it was like during the .com era, and everything was happening. There's so many new web pages, and you could see new things, so people would make up shit.
Yeah,
that would always loop back to you seeing something like Lemon Party, or Meatspin.com.
So the best prank of all time will always be the time somebody, my brother, put on the Nintendo Wii, because Nintendo Wii was able to connect to the internet. Just the internet.
When was this?
Like, this would have been 2007.
Okay, that makes sense.
2006,
okay.
2007.
Yeah. But it could connect.
Could direct, and he had Beatspin.com up, and then just turned off the TV. So when the TV was turned back on, that's all you see. It's just you spin me right round, baby, right round. Oh my!
So for you Gen Zers, please, if you got time to visit just one website, don't do it on your phone, or if you're under, let's say 25, don't do it. But meatspin.com.
It should have been taken down. But at the same time, nope.
So the one that I had, this was one that almost caused a breakup with me when I was a freshman in college.
Oh boy!
Was I had brought all my friends around to the computer, and I said, this was before Google Maps,
right?
But Google Maps was tracking and happening, right?
Yeah.
So I said, this company is competing with Google Maps, and you can type in your address, and it will lower down closer and closer and get to exactly where you are. If we just type in our address, it can pinpoint and show exactly where we are. And people were like, no way. And I was like, yeah, I'll show you. So I entered in, and at the time we were in Saginaw, Michigan. So I was like, Saginaw, Michigan, click. And it goes around the world, and it goes to North America, and it closes in. It goes to Michigan, it closes in. Closes down to a city, closes down to a building, and then it opens up, and it pops open, and you spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round. And my girlfriend at the time was not pleased.
Oh, I can imagine. I'm sure she was less than thrilled.
It was pretty funny. Like, here's the thing. I'm not saying, like, someone did it to me, and I obviously thought this has to be for everybody. But I got like 6 people, and 5 out of the 6 liked it. That's pretty good comedy odds.
Yeah, that's 83% like rate.
You're hitting your Patrice O'Neill spot there, which is you need to have at least a little more than half the crowd love it, and then you have to have at least a few people who are absolutely offended by it, all in the same joke, and then you've hit spot.
Yeah.
Which by his comedy was,
Yeah. No.
But that's it. Meatspin.com. Check it out, Gen Zers.
Or don't. There's, like I said, there's parts of your brain that will be eternally rotted.
Don't lose
for
it.
that. But no, zero regrets.
Portion of their brain has been rotted by K-pop.
That's definitely true.
It's the end. It's not really rotted. It's just the version of our brain that got rotted by NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you think your brain's been rotted by it?
No, other than the fact that I did have a weird fascination of like, I feel like being in a boy band would have been probably the best life.
So you don't think that infected your brain, thinking that being in a boy band would be the best life?
I still don't think you can tell me it wouldn't be the best life.
I agree. Well, here's the thing. I think if you understand who you are as a person, but a lot of those boy bands fought because people all wanted to be Justin.
Oh, here's the thing.
Like NSYNC.
You know who's,
Joey didn't know that Joey run number one.
Joey Fat One knew he was Joey Fat One.
Well,
and
he
I know
did
his
until he
name
didn't.
I know his name is Joey Fatone.
But
Joey Fat One, that's who he was.
Dude, and
he
for
was
selling
the guy.
But
dude.
for selling the product, Lance had to pretend he wasn't gay.
Yeah, that's a thing, but it happens. See, JC Chazé was the one that really got the fork turned to him.
JC, man, what was it? JC Chazé?
JC Chazé, because it was basically him and Timberlake. One of the two of them was going to be the guy.
Who was it? Right,
and it was Justin Timberlake.
Yep.
And then JC Chazé put out like one album, and just kind of disappeared.
Well, because he got just erased by JT.
Yeah, Lance Bass became an astronaut, then he became gay, and now he's a gay astronaut. I guess I don't know.
That's pretty. That is a fucking sweet resume.
Yeah,
a gay astronaut.
Yeah.
Has there been a gay astronaut in space? An open one?
Probably not in space. Yeah,
what's he doing? Oh, look at him! Look at that! Look at JC.
Yeah,
his kitty. He had a kitty cat.
Yeah, look at this guy.
Oh God, that's lovable. Look at JT trying to look hard.
But yeah, then you get Oh,
I really love that JC picture. Him and his little cute cat. God damn it.
Yeah, he was. He didn't get to become the guy. Justin Timberlake became the guy.
But if you had to tell me, if I had to choose, I'll be honest. If you said, and I get it, that I'm not someone who wants the fame, though, of like a guy like Justin Timberlake. If you said you get to be JT, but you have to live your whole life as JT, or I can be
Joey Fatone. Joey Fatone is the guy.
He's think Joey?
Yeah. He's like, clearly he was he's the lovable goof. Always be the lovable goofball in a group.
Yeah.
Always be. Because then life's probably always going to be pretty okay. And also...
And no one's expecting you to buy like the most expensive house on the block if you're Joey Fatone.
Right. You're 1/5 of the band, but at the same time... you're on the bottom. You're holding us up.
That's why. Okay, so let's do this again. Obviously, we'll go classic.
There's the guy.
Let's go. Hell yeah, Joey Fatone. Look at that beard too.
Joey
Goddamn.
Fat One. He was, but he's the best.
Do you think that's ironic? Do you think they ironically did that to him? Do you think someone made him get fat? His name is Joey. But he was.
But when you compare him to the other guys. The rest of them are very, very svelte.
Yeah,
and he's the regular looking guy of the bunch, but it's like,
dude, they called him
here. Look at him. He's not like he's.
They called him Joey. I've never heard someone say Joey Fat One, but now I feel like the Illuminati is real.
It is.
He started off as Joey Fatone, and now he's just Joey
Fat One. Yeah.
Damn.
No, I hate that.
Did it just click for you? Because it just clicked.
It did for me. It blew my mind. Yeah, that's why I was like, Alex, what is the Illuminati real? What do you know?
I know more than I should, but I can't talk about it.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Like you always do. Alex Plotkowski, the keeper of secrets.
The plot.
Oh, by the way, hey, if you can cue it up, we might as well do.
Holy cannoli.
It's been early, but we might as well do. Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck?
But I'll give you time to. I'll give you total time. Just let me know when you're ready, Kyle. But basically, what this is the acknowledgement that I am not famous, nor are you. But at the same time, we're comedians in Michigan, and we get to know each other. And this is for everyone to know. Basically, like, who the fuck are you? You know?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
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 Who the fuck are you? Delightful.
Who are you?
Who the fuck are you?
Where did you come from?
Who the fuck are you?
I don't know you like that.
Yeah, so we're very pleased for the intros here because we're high and having a good time.
It's a great intro.
And also, you know what? Credit to you for being a part of that intro as well. That was great.
Happy to be a part of that.
Yes.
Also, lightning in a fucking bottle.
Right? I mean, come on. We'll watch out, Ringo Starr. Who get Joey Fatwin the fuck out of here, man. We're ready to go.
This is Justin Timberlake shit only, my guy.
So basically, all the segment is just a few questions about you and like who you are, Alex. So,
okay,
Alex Plotkowski, in terms of where you were from and what it was like being you. Who the fuck are you?
I was born and raised in Sterling Heights, Michigan, which is the 4th largest city in the state, but it's the suburbs of Detroit. It's just one of those, because it's such a large suburban area. It's the ultimate hodgepodge of Midwest people. You had a lot of white people. Sterling Heights was Sterling Whites for the longest time. Which it's kind of broken
that makes
out of
sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
By the time I got to about like 4th grade, it was starting to like, oh, there's more than just white people around
On Earth.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Not just like for the longest time. The only black people I knew growing up until about like 3rd grade were in the NBA. That was
it. Did you like them?
Dude, those Chicago Bull teams. I mean, Michael Jordan was my best friend. It's fine. He was my only. Yeah, no, but no, it was not very diverse for a while.
Yeah,
and then it really opened up. But it's just suburbs of Detroit. It's people have a chip on their shoulder for all the reasons. A lot of my friends' dads worked in automotive.
Yeah. What did your dad do?
My dad, as my brothers and I, well, mostly my brothers would always say, what my dad did was he just like copied and pasted for a living.
Okay.
We don't know what he ever fucking like. He was like coding, but not coding, because every time I see him use a computer, I'm just like, this is a liability waiting to happen.
Was he stealing money from a bank or something?
No, he worked for the DMC for a long time.
Okay.
And then eventually CompuWare. And now he works for some cancer institute down in Florida.
But he does this without computer knowledge?
I don't understand.
Alex, your dad works for the mob.
No, he's not. Like, I feel like what he does is just, he knows how to do the code stuff on the computer, but outside of that, like, he doesn't know anything else about it. Like the internet. Well,
oh yeah, that's just not his thing.
No, he just doesn't know how.
Wow, that's cool though. So hone it. I'm sorry, I'm reeling it back in about you. But like when you were growing up, what were you into as a kid? Like, what did you have a thing that you liked as a young boy growing up or anything, or were you all about the range?
Couple things for me. I was an action figure kid for sure. Definitely an action figure kid.
Okay, so like Marvel action figures or like G.I. Joe?
Like anything. Like the little Batman action figures. I was big into those. My pro wrestling figures, those were big.
Man, I got to show you. I got a collection.
You got a collection? Yeah. I had a decent sized collection. And then when I moved out to Grand Rapids, and my mom, actually, no, I would already been out here, but it was my mom was moving from our childhood house. She's like, claim your shit. Which is fair.
Yeah.
And like, so I grabbed most of my wrestling figures and gave them to one of my good friends on the other side of the state. Shout out to my guy Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, he'll watch this. I'll send it to him. He'll watch it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I had a good bunch of them. Like I had some rare ones too. Not like rare, but like
some good rare ass.
I had the
WWE
I had the
action
Hurricane.
Figure. Dude, I had Ahmed Johnson.
Oh, that's a
Mississippi Plunge, dude.
That's a good one. That's
basically a double handlebar power bomb.
Yeah.
Turned into a splash. But I'll tell you what, back in the day, that was the Mississippi Plunge.
Oh God.
That dude had huge guns. You remember that? He'd put the wraps up on the top of the biceps
he
like a
was
big bastard.
He was huge.
He
and then
was.
he had the nose spreader on.
Yeah, dude.
Which I
The
do
nose
love.
spreader.
I do love, a nasal strip. I think it's
Yeah.
like Jerry Rice. Come on. That was
Really
the other thing.
good.
I was really into sports as a kid too.
Okay, so did you have a favorite sport or were you going by season?
It always went by season.
Okay.
Always been I loved football. Like I was a big Michigan football as a kid.
Yeah, go
Because
blue.
They were the best then, until like this past year when they won it all,
Oh
still get
yeah,
to
they
brag
just
about it.
happened to, didn't
Yeah.
they? Oh my God, they did.
But for
they
years
they beat Alabama.
they were so good and they would just never win it all. But it was fun to root for as a kid and just think. I always thought like one day I'm going to go to the University of Michigan. I did not. I didn't realize you had to be smart for that.
Well, yeah, you had to be smart, and honestly, you had to be smart, and you had to be Asian for when you and I were graduating.
That's fairly true.
Michigan got in a little bit of trouble right about. I graduated in 2006, and I wanted to go to U of M, and I think I might have had I had the GPA. My ACT score wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. I was about in the middle.
Right.
But that was enough to say no. But also, Michigan had a little bit of a problem with having like no Asians on campus in the middle 2000s, and then there was a push, son. And that's a good thing. I'm not against. I'm just saying I'm not Asian, so I didn't get in. You know,
you instead.
and I was very white and mediocre and was expecting greatness. Which don't blame me. I'm privileged, but
hey, go Cardinals.
I didn't get it. Yeah.
Go Cardinals,
Go
man.
Cardinals.
Go
dude. Yeah.
Cardinals.
It's a great day to be a Cardinal, and that's
Yeah.
what I do. In Saginaw, I went from wanting to go to Michigan to going to the cheapest public university in Michigan.
You're goddamn right you did. You got
Go
that degree.
Cards, baby.
Yeah.
Anyways, no.
Yeah.
Where did you go? Did you go to college?
I went to Grand Valley before I dropped out of Grand Valley.
Ooh.
I
What is the Anchors Away or Anchors Down? What's your thing?
It was Anchors Up.
What was that?
It's the stupid little logo they did. It's supposed to be an anchor. It's terrible. It's terrible.
That's your anchor, huh?
Yeah, it's terrible. What is it? Who is this holding down?
I don't know. It's
Nobody.
holding down an unhappy woman, it looks like.
It's awful. So no, don't get me wrong. I know the big rivalries. It was like, yeah, I get it. At least Saginaw Valley had some like edge to it, whereas Grand Valley.
I will say Saginaw did have an edge to it.
Exactly.
Yes.
But yeah, no, and I enjoyed my time at school. Well, I did. I became a legend. At the same time.
Did you? What was your
I was in
legendary?
a frat, baby.
Oh,
I was
you
in a
frat
frat.
boy, frat boy
I
plot.
was in a frat.
Frat plot.
I still love.
What's
most
your
of the
boys? What's your call? Your set?
my DU boys. There were so many of them.
Yeah.
Also because I left, like I dropped out of college. I came back when I moved back here with the sole intention initially to go back to school. But then I bought my place and I was like, oh shit, this is actually incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to school at the same time.
Yeah, dude. Shit.
It's like this is or
Yeah.
I'll be in debt till I'm, I don't know, dead.
Yeah.
More than likely. But I came back as an advisor to the frat.
You're a frat advisor?
I was a frat dad, baby.
Were you just like, I wouldn't do that?
No,
Or were you more like, yeah, you can get away with that?
it was really like, all right, guys, like we're gonna have fun, we're gonna have a good time,
Hide that coke.
but like don't be smart, be smart, but use comments, and that's where the dad reputation came from. It was just like. It's like it was the advice like a good dad would give.
Yeah, Plot
Just-
Daddy.
Yeah, just Papa Plot was a man.
Papa Plot.
Papa Plot's still
That's
a guy,
sick.
dude.
Papa Plot is very cool.
Yeah, like they're a bunch of like they were all so good, but also so fucking stupid.
They were your kids, weren't
oh
they?
god, I think
You said that just like a dad.
they're the reason I don't have hair. And they know it too.
The frat boys.
They know.
Was it like old school? Was it like the movie Old School?
a little
Like
bit?
Will Ferrell with blow up dolls and
Kind
shit?
of. No, I wouldn't go that far. I would go almost if you take every frat movie together and mix it in, and then just make everybody for the most part way less attractive.
Like water them down a little bit.
Yeah, just
Yeah, just think like a little bit of the tism went across the group
exactly.
through the movie people that you
Yeah,
see.
just it's like there's definitely some like I had some handsome brothers, and then there was also there was some that's just like
There's some not handsome.
yeah, no, it's like there's a reason this isn't a movie.
Yeah.
Because if this was a movie, people would be disappointed.
It was the 70s. They could have had a chance because John Belushi was in those.
It's true, and he's like a meatball.
He's
so
fantastic, but
may he rest in peace.
Yes.
But yeah, no, they're great guys, and we had a lot of fun. I loved being their advisor. We got shut down. That's its own thing. Getting shut down.
they shut us down. Did the dean come by and have you guys have to
like
do something?
double secret probation. It wasn't like Animal House. Our national shut us down.
Yeah. Oh God, they were done with your shit, huh?
Yeah, we were getting investigated for something.
Okay. Yeah. You ain't gotta tell these narcs everything.
And I had to sit on those like hearings as the advisor. I just sit,
You had to pop a plot that, huh?
Yeah.
Sit as a disappointed dad.
show up to the Grand Valley Library in a jacket and tie. You know,
How old were you?
22, 23 years old.
Dude, you walk in, dude. That's fucking the whole music's playing. Law and Order. Boom, 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 boom.
They're just like most
Boom, 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 boom.
most of our other chapters alumni advisors were usually in like their 40s or 50s. Occasionally you have a guy that's just like doing his post grad stuff, so he's just like still around. But generally it wasn't a college dropout that they're like, yeah, good enough.
Yeah, you didn't even finish
I
from the
didn't
college. And you're like,
finish
I'm
school.
going to tell you guys the way. I'm going to show you the way. This is 22-year-old Alex walking into the courtroom to defend his honor.
We literally sat, we had a Skype call with everybody and everything. Like, they're like, is this true? Did you have minors drinking? And it's like, well, yes, it's
in the school that has people that are 20 in it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to
People
happen.
drink.
Like, did you try to carve these people? I'm like, yeah, we tried. We can't catch everything. We can't police everything.
Yeah.
And
So
they
I'm
just-
only dad of these kids, not all the kids.
Yeah, no, that was
Can't take care of them all.
no. And it's like, you know, you gave them the responsibility to do it. Some of them did, some of them didn't.
Yeah.
It happens. And yeah, they shut us down. They shut
And they
us down.
said that's not a good
quick.
enough reason. You're
Oh,
done.
they were. There were several escalating reasons too.
Sure. I bet. You
you
don't
know-
have to say them all, just for the sake of everybody's
But-
safety,
Yeah.
probably.
no, grades were part. They're like,
Oh, okay,
they're like-
good.
they're like,
Because
you
I'm not
guys
thinking
don't-
grades, obviously.
Yeah, obviously not. But they're like, you guys also don't raise that much money for philanthropy. You guys also don't really get community service hours, which you're
You guys
supposed to
did
do.
philanthropy.
Yeah, that's the thing with when you're in a frat, you got to do community service.
What Greek letters were you got? What were you?
DU Delta Upsilon. I will shout them out because
Delta Upsilon. That's fantastic.
Fuck 'em.
The
Unless-
philanthropists.
yeah, no, it's all Greek life is like that though.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just
It's-
funny the idea that because there were a lot of Greeks around Saginaw, but I don't think they were much into philanthropy
No,
either.
and that's the thing. But the thing is, the ones that were doing well, they somehow pulled it off. But they would do shit like they would do their little event, and then afterwards, you host a mixer and you host a party,
And then you make your real money off
exactly.
keggers and people paying $5 for a cup.
Yeah,
Now it'd be 10 because of inflation.
fucking inflation.
Because
I couldn't imagine
because of
being-
Joe Biden.
I couldn't imagine being a
Right?
college kid now. Also, because apparently there's an Adderall shortage, so that
Oh Jesus.
doesn't bode
Man,
well.
because I grew up mostly in college without the people of Adderall. It scared the shit out of me to see people turn into zombies in 3 years. You know, because like people were on it to start and they
Yeah.
were great, and then like, bro, the early Adderall was like a higher dosage than before. Now
Fries your brain, dude.
Kyle and I already talked about it. Right now, Adderall is just meth for 8th graders. It's
Right.
low grade. But it used to, man, people get zooted off that
Oh,
shit.
yeah,
They were
dude.
sniffing it and snorting it, and
Guilty.
yeah,
I
they're doing all sorts of shit.
Yeah, no, and wild, isn't it? Absolutely fucking wild that
Yeah.
this, you know.
So what brought you all the way to GR?
So it was literally just I was going to go back to school. That was the plan.
Okay.
And I moved out here, and then I was just like, I don't want to go back to school. It's expensive. I don't want to
Yup.
do it.
So then you started working.
Yeah, I I already worked for the company I work for, which I will not talk about.
No, hell no.
Because I'm due for a raise.
Yes.
So actually, if I say that on there, maybe.
Yay, pressure on you, company that Alex
Yeah.
works for you at.
Please.
Yeah, give him money. He needs it too because Kyle, hi Kyle, you there too? I'm high. Alex works very hard. Kyle does too. Kyle's a hard worker too.
And in comedy, it doesn't always pay the bills. So
not always.
Not usually.
Not always there, Bob.
Not usually. But yeah, so and I've been out here ever since. Been
nice.
11 years now.
So when did you start stand up?
I started stand up so technically I started when I was 16 the first time, and then I took like a decade off.
Okay.
That
happens though. People try and then you move to another thing. Did you feel like you were never going to do it again?
I thought I was never going to do it again.
Like fuck that.
I did a lot of writing instead because I was like I can be, because it even happens now. There will be jokes I write that like written, it works great. The second I say it out loud, I'm just like, yeah. That's not for
the transition from written to spoken word is just different. You know?
It's absolutely like some things are just like, oh.
Some things transfer through.
Yeah.
But that's because of if you keep the writing so simple, because our language is better understood, simpler, right?
Right. And that's the thing. I'm not always simpler. I'm just like, let's be a little dick about it.
Do you happen to remember any joke that you told at that time?
Not really, because
I love bad old jokes. I have thousands of those fuckers.
I've told the story to people before. It went from being at a coffee shop where it was a hard PG-13, which means 2 shits and a fuck. It
was a hard PG-13, 2 shits and a fuck. 2 shits and a fuck,
and then you get to it had to switch from being at that coffee shop to the church I grew up in.
Oh my God. That was your first? That was in your church you grew up in?
Yup.
Oh, I would have quit for 10 years too.
Yeah. It was bad. It was really bad. I did a lot of impressions because when you go from even 2 shits and a fuck is like, that still means I can do pretty much whatever I want as a 16-year-old. To, all right, now you're in front of a church.
Yeah,
these are people
now you got to do church shit, dude. I used to sing in front of the church and shit. I was known in that church, so it was like people like I had to completely censor myself. I was doing like Christopher Walken, Jersey Shore impressions, and they weren't digging.
They were like, there was like, you could hear one guy in a cricket laugh. Yeah. And I could tell the one guy was doing real pity laughs. Like, it was like he's trying up there. It's
like, look at him, I'm embarrassed for him.
Look at that. He's got, and I was just
I love those people, but they I don't know that they know that we know that that's a pity laugh.
Worst thing was then there was another kid that was a couple years younger than I was. So I would have been like 16. I think this kid would have been like 13 or 14 that did like a bunch of like either biblical jokes,
come on,
or like jokes that you'd read off of a popsicle stick.
And he crushed, didn't he?
Fucking murdered.
That's about as bad as getting beat by a juggler.
And not just that, it was then like after the show was over, they're like, who would have thought he's funnier than you are? And I'm just like,
no.
I like, cool.
No.
I wasn't going to
Can
listen
you say
to
his first name? What was the first name of the kid?
His name was Jake, I believe.
Oh, I thought James for some reason, but Jake is great.
Or Jacob.
Jake. Let's go Jake.
Yeah, let's go
little
Jake.
Bastard.
Little bastard.
Dude, the popsicle jokes. And that's the thing is, I knew right when you said it, I was like, it's going to be this kid that goes in there with the biblical crap.
Goofy little fucker.
He fires into like,
goofy
what did Daniel say to the lions? Are you going to eat that?
Yeah, it was. I kid you not. That might have been one of them.
It could have been.
And like, the thing is, I did about 5 minutes, which was painful because I knew after about like 2. I was toast.
And 5 minutes is an eternity when you're new.
First time
That's
ever?
An eternity.
Absolutely. Like time in a bottle sort of thing. Like this is the eternity I'm living. This 5 minutes feels like eternity.
Yeah.
And that kid went up and probably did between 3 and 5 as well. Just that type of shit. And just I was like, yeah, no, I get why kids want to kill themselves. I totally get it.
Then you know what would have been funny is you would, like, probably 2 weeks later, Jake takes his act on the road, heads into some dingy bar and just gets booed the hell out of there. And then he starts wondering, what is comedy? And then it's like, that's just the beginning, my son.
I hope not, because he was 13. I think he was literally just doing it to be like, I know some jokes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's a deacon.
It was more like a talent show than like an open mic. But it was, when it was at the coffee shop, it was supposed to be an open mic. But when they moved to the church, they called it a talent show. So
no, they flipped the script, huh?
they fucked me.
So you mean they
fucked
weren't
me.
going by the book on that one?
You know, Philippians, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, so you started stand up back then. Then when did you get really started? Would you say, like, when you were getting, like, because now you're very seriously a comedian.
I was about 25, so about 6 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I remember I was at Fulton Street Pub one night. You know, and they had open mic night, and this was back when I think that mic just started, and there was maybe 2 people signed up every time.
Was it when you came up in the door and the mic was to the left?
To the left.
Yeah, the Fulton Street Pub is shout out to Fulton Street Pub on Fulton Street, obviously.
Obviously, very
West Side by John Ballpark Zoo, the best goddamn zoo on the West Side.
Yeah.
But yep, Fulton Street there used to run a mic.
There was the pool tables on the other side, which was always great because if people were playing pool, it did not matter who was on the stage. They would try to tell you, hey, if you could, not play pool in the back, but they're like, I'm paying money at your establishment.
We're betting $10 a ball on this.
Yeah, I've got I'm already down a pitcher to this man.
Exactly.
Let me finish this. And then I started hanging out at the old Tip Top because I was told that's a good place to go. And then I kind of got stuck there for the rest of
Well, you carry the torch. You're the host at Tip Top now.
That's what which I think that's part of the reason why I loved doing Tip Top when I first started doing comedy in Grand Rapids, just because that room will break your goddamn heart. That room will hurt you.
You get chest hair at Tip Top.
And I'm full of it, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you do. That bar can be kind and it can be unkind. The first first time I ever bombed was at Tip Top.
Yeah, no, and like when you do well there, when you've got like a really good night, when there have been crowds there and they're loving it and they're just all about it, feels so good. Like, it always feels good to crush, but like especially in there where occasionally you get some riffraff in there as well. I'm glad we haven't had to deal with bikers in a while, but you remember the days when bikers were there all the time.
We almost had a gays versus bikers fight during a gay pride show.
Yeah.
The biker, for real, we almost had a gays versus the bikers battle.
They were like,
I think we would have whooped them, dude. We had so much cooler looking boots.
Oh,
you know, rhinestones and shit. We would have kicked the crap out of them.
They were screwed, dude.
Bro, it was hilarious. They were whipping shitties in the crossroad right by Tip Top.
Yep.
I was at that show. You were hosting it, correct?
Yep.
Or were you producing that one?
No, I was. Yeah, I was just. I was running sound and
basically organizing the show. And these bikers from across the way that are used to being at Tip Top came in and noticed that it was a different audience than normal. They noticed the colors and walked out of there and then started interrupting the show by whipping their bikes around out in the parking lot.
Just because they could, and it was just the worst.
Then when a few people came out, they realized, God, there's some pretty big gays in there. And they backed the fuck off.
They backed down so
The other
quickly.
thing is, too, gays and blades is connected. They're doing shit to their eyebrows. They're doing shit to keep themselves clean. They got weapons all the time. You ain't gonna just get over on a group of gay people like that.
Yeah, also, strength in numbers, man. It's just gonna, like, there's 5 of you, there's like 17 of them. They're here and they're ready to throw. They've got stuff.
Yeah, and plus these guys weren't like the Sons of Anarchy. They were like the boys of Kind of Crazy.
I called them the Sons of Alimony. That's what I called them.
Sons of Alimony.
That's what I called them. I remember specifically calling them the Sons of Alimony.
I remember them just being a little heavier than I remember mean bikers being in the movies.
I remember there was one guy though that I was like, he's legitimately terrifying.
He's going to be a problem.
But I was like, there's enough of us
Yeah.
This old man ain't got shit. This
Yeah.
isn't. He's not Stallone. This isn't Tulsa King.
We'll take him down arm by arm.
Yeah, he'll be fine. And plus, that pacemaker's probably gonna give out
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Little
I think we
bitch.
just need to put a little heat on him.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, for real, they did. They saw the size of the army, the gay army they were going to fight, and they said, "Nah, not tonight." We
No.
finished so strong.
Yeah,
good show.
So fuck them.
Yeah.
fuck them.
What a fun time.
Yeah.
I forgot until you just brought it up. The gays versus
The bikers. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So you've run Tip Top, but you perform all over. You've performed out of state and in Michigan.
Yeah, and I do love all across the state. I wish I could get more time over on the east side of the state around my family, particularly because my younger brother recently has gotten into comedy. Not doing it. He wants to do
Just
it.
like checking it out and keeping around.
He's really into that Kill Tony.
Okay.
He's really
He's gonna
into
Cam
that.
Patterson one, huh?
He's like, they're so funny. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I
And
do
he's-
too.
And he's like, I got a minute. I know I got a minute. And like, not gonna make fun of him. I love you. But I was just like,
Might not be a minute.
I was like, I don't think it's a minute. And if it is, there's not a lot of jokes in this.
It's not the best. It's not the best minute you can do.
I'm like, you can do better. You're a funnier man than that.
Hey, what's better than having a seasoned brother that actually has some information on what it could look like? Because here's the thing, like you just said about writing it down and then saying it. There is a lot of things that how your brain connects it. You forget steps in your head. You think that you connected it, but there's certain things about how you image that through your brain that didn't transfer, and people are seeing a different thing in their head than you are.
Right.
And you have to be good at understanding what people see when you talk, not what you see.
Yeah.
And it's harder. And doing it in a minute's harder than doing it in 7 minutes, believe it or not.
You've produced plenty of shows. So when somebody says, oh, I've easily got 10 or 15. Mm-hmm. All right, cut it in half and then minus about 2, and that's probably what they have.
That's a good amount of the laugh time that you like, the punching and laughing jokes.
Yeah, because they feel like they're like, the way I'm saying it, I'm going to definitely get like a little bit of a laugh break here. No, you're not. I promise you. No, you're not.
Yeah, that's true. Not always.
You're in your own head about something, and also you're not taking into effect your own nerves or your own state of mind.
Yeah.
A lot of new people, they will kind of booze up a little bit before they go on stage, or they'll get a little high before they go on stage. Which, if you've done enough shows, you probably are going to be okay. But
thank you.
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
You're gonna be all right, my guy. But somebody who's like fresh into it, and it's not smart. Not smart.
No, you're trying to socially dial in, and when the more inebriated you get in any way, the less you are actually dialed into what's going on with the crowd.
Right.
But there are people who come in early, and you see something that they can do. There's people I've seen that start early, and you're like, wow, they've really got something interesting going,
Yeah.
But holding it is actually the most interesting thing.
Right.
A lot of times people have a pretty funny 5 minutes, but when you become a comedian is when you come up with the next funny 5.
Yeah, exactly.
And the next funny 5 and the next, and you stack them, and it becomes a bigger game than just putting together one thing you do.
Yeah.
That's not bad, and it's a good start, but that's like 60s, 70s funny, where you get one good half hour and you perform the country with it.
Yeah, you go on this one tour for this one bit,
which is fun but different.
Oh man, just look at Bob Hope.
So now I'm going to ask you a personal question, then we'll move on there. But like, comedy wise, what are you trying to perform in it? Like, what do you want out of comedy? And also, like, how do you feel about what comedy is like in what you've seen?
So what I really want, that's a very good question. What I really like about comedy is that it's also different and it's always evolving. Comedy is never like, what's funny, some things are timelessly funny. Young Frankenstein,
hilarious.
Hot Fuzz, the timelessly fun. Will always be funny and doesn't matter. But most comedy does evolve with time, and I love the writing of comedy that sees what you can adapt with time, so you're always relevant. Because people's sense of humor changes. People will say, "Oh, things are canceled." It's just it's being more aware of what you're saying. I don't care what anybody says. Say whatever you want, but just know that some people are not going to like it, and that's fine. Don't like it if you don't like it, but you also don't have to censor yourself either. Just do your shit. Do your shit and evolve with the times. Realize that, you know, you don't have to say certain things anymore. Just be smarter in your jokes. But I love writing. That's what I kind of want to keep doing. You know, if I was told I didn't really get to talk on stage ever again, but I could just consistently write. Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
If I got paid to write, that'd be great.
Yeah. Would you want to do pilots? What would you want to get into? Like, not just pilots, obviously, but like, would you want to do TV writing? Would it be cinema? Would it be all of the above?
Probably TV, if anything. TV, because, you know, I've always said to people, I think the best job in entertainment is being like on a writing team for a show like Family Guy, where it's just literally, all right, everybody write 100 of the most ridiculous jokes about topic A.
Yeah.
And then the best one
punch
makes
it
the air.
out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which would be fantastic.
Yeah. It's all just, you know, they're dumb little throwaway jokes that you can just think of. That's funny.
Yeah.
And, you know, those are the best parts of shows like that. The Simpsons, South Park, just those little animated things. They're fun.
Yeah.
You can do so much more with animation. Just be fun with it. So, but always, like anybody that watches way too many movies, you and I probably both have at least 10 movie ideas on top of our head right now.
Yeah.
I could pitch you one. You could pitch me one and be like, all right, let's start a movie studio tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
Let's get the LLC down. Let's get a backing, and then we'll get DiCaprio on it for this first one.
Easy.
Yeah.
We just got to have like 9 18-year-old girls around, and
That's
he'll
it, dude.
find his way into the
That's
place.
it. Under
what I
24 and ready to party. Let's go.
And tell him that he can take his jet no matter what he says about climate change. We
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah, you
Come
take-
over here and make this movie, Leo.
Make these movies. We're just going to make 2 movies. It'll be great.
Yes. That sounds delightful. Wouldn't it be the life? A good writing gig. And what's cool about things now is you can get the writing gig without having to live in New York City, or
Right.
you know what I mean, the advantage of tech.
Yeah.
Sweet baby technology.
Yeah.
The sweet nectar we drink from every goddamn day.
Yeah, no, it's great. And a lot of people say like not creativity is dead, but just the, you know, everything's a reboot or a sequel.
Yeah.
Or part of some shared bullshit universe.
Yeah.
People want original stuff now. It's like I hope we see more of that, because it sucks when everything's like, all right, do I have to do homework to see this new movie that's coming out?
Because you're a very big movie guy, like movie buff.
Yeah, that's
Big into the moves.
Love my movies.
You call it cinema? Do you get offended if I don't say film or cinema?
No, because I'm not that up my own ass. But
Yeah.
occasionally when I do try to win an argument, it's like, well, you know, we're going to be talking film, or are we talking movie?
You son of a bitch.
Are we, you know, if we're talking
Nerd.
a cinematic experience, or a, you know,
Or is this
a
something for
feature
the
film.
DVD release?
Oh, and
like a grandma's boy.
I will be honest. I am a bit of a Bluetooth snob, Blu-ray snob. Yeah, I
Blu-ray.
love, I love my Criterion Collection movies, and I get them and watch with all the special features on. I'll watch director's commentaries with it.
Do you get high during this, or you watch it sober like a psycho?
It depends on the movie, to be perfectly honest.
You watch a sober director's cut of Godfather for 8 hours?
No,
like you worked
I
a shift.
I did watch Michael Mann's director commentary for the movie Heat.
Okay. Okay.
And I was completely sober for that. I think I started drinking like back half of the movie, but I was just like, oh my God, I understand why this is one of the best movies ever. This is amazing. And you just like listening to him talk about his process, and just you're like, this man's a genius.
Yes.
But yeah, most times if you're going to watch a director's commentary, you know you're watching the movie, but you're like, hey, it's like I'm watching with a friend who's going to talk, and I don't get to talk to back.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to say some really cool shit about the movie. It's not like a normal friend.
That or bitch about things like, you know, Ben Affleck did for Armageddon.
Ben Affleck bitched during Armageddon, right?
Yeah, during the Armageddon director's commentary, Ben Affleck's commentary, he's like, he went up to Michael Bay and told him, doesn't it make more sense for oil drillers to like not for astronauts to learn how to oil drill, not oil drillers to learn how to become astronauts. And Michael Bay looked at him and said, "Shut the fuck up and let me make my movie."
Yeah.
And the rest is history. It's like, good
That's
for
beautiful.
him. Good for him. For
Because
having,
yes, it makes more sense, but we don't want to root for those fucking nerds.
Yeah, no.
Unless they're gay, like Lance Bass. If it was gay
the
astronaut,
Rocket Man.
No, I'm
The
just
Rocket
kidding.
Man.
If they were, dude, gay astronauts going to drill. I mean, I know the metaphors there would be wild, but they did that for Brokeback Mountain.
That would have been
But
a
dude,
John Waters
a bunch of Lance Basses going up to save the world. Can you imagine how people change their minds about them?
Instead, we got
And some drag queen's like, I am gonna read kids these books, and
So
the
we got
whole asteroid
Bruce
just
Willis,
blows up.
Bruce Willis, Ben
beautiful.
Affleck, Owen Wilson, Michael Clark
Wow.
Duncan, Steve Buscemi.
Dude, Michael Clark Duncan, that's a big one. Steve Buscemi goes cuckoo birds on the. They're like, we gotta have a guy go nuts. It's gonna be
I'm
Steve.
trying to remember who else was in that. Will Patton, who was Coach Yost in Remember the Titans.
Exactly. And the other thing with Ben Affleck about, I just have to pull back on it. He's complaining about how Michael Bay made the movie, right? And it's like, dude, you made a movie with your buddy about how a janitor's a genius. So why don't you shut the fuck up?
Hey,
You hold your tongue, Ben.
It is a great movie, though.
It
Shout
is,
out
yeah.
to-
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Good Will Hunting.
Good Will
but-
Hunting's a gem, but that's because Robin Williams is a masterpiece.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a good movie, but
It's also not Armageddon.
it ain't no Armageddon. I wasn't.
Yeah, no.
No,
not-
Armageddon's a blockbuster.
Like 90s action movies. Like, don't get me wrong, I love your 80s action movies as well. Your Predator, your Commando, your
Dude,
Terminator.
Predator and Terminator baller, but also the 80s produced a lot of Steven Seagal bullshit, which is the only
Yeah.
thing that's Michigan produced that I'm not proud of at all.
No, that's...
Is Steven fucking Seagal.
Where's he from, Michigan?
Lansing. He's a check it out,
Really?
Kyle. Let's double check. He's a Michigan. Steven
mm-hmm.
Seagal's weird judo where he's eating carrots and beating up Russians. He's a goddamn Michigander. I've never been more sad.
He's not beating them up. He's like they run at him. They're like crawl at him and he judo flips them.
Yeah, he like twists their wrists and they do full flips.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing with Putin.
Yeah, they're just like, you're so strong.
They said Putin's a judo master.
you're so strong, sir.
What's it? Look at that. Seagal was born in Lansing, Michigan, the son of Patricia Ann Fisher, a medical technician, and Samuel Seagal, a mathematics teacher. Wow.
Interesting. That sucks.
He's just, dude, and he
that
produced,
sucks. I had such high hopes with Lansing.
he produced some of the worst action movies in history.
Yeah, some of them are okay. Like early Seagal, not
Early
bad.
was on-
I enjoy Under Siege. And then there's one, and then he was also in Executive Decision. Mm-hmm. And he dies in that. Spoiler alert! But that movie came out in like '96. Fuck off.
He just had flicks where he made rules about him not being able to, not running.
Right.
Because they're like, he runs funny.
Yeah.
So they're like, you're ruining the movies. By
That's-
the way, you run Steven. And
Yeah.
it was hard for them to tell him, right? Because he didn't believe it. And then he watched himself and he was like, all right, I'm not going to run anymore.
Yeah. No, 80s action movies are great. 90s action movies will always have a piece of my heart. They're just a lot of fun. You know, The Fifth Element. Like
Fifth
Bruce,
Element is badass.
The reason Bruce Willis worked as a movie star is because he just looked like your friend's dad.
Yeah. Friend's hot dad, though.
Well, duh.
Smoking
It's-
hot dad.
Yeah, because you know all the '80s action movies outside of Seagal were just roided to the gills. They were huge.
Yeah.
Whereas Bruce Willis is like, yeah, he's in shape, but he's not like he's not just like the Hulk.
I think even though there's more gunfire in different scenes, obviously, the most testosterone-filled scene ever is in Predator when Arnold and what is the other?
Carl Weathers.
do
you
that
son
smacking
of a bitch.
arm thing.
Oh.
You son of a bitch! And
It's so
dude,
good.
that thing snipes right
It's
on, man.
So good.
That's
Predator
dude,
itself is just a fun movie about
It is.
an alien killing a bunch of
Carl
people.
Weathers got addicted to cigars on set from that.
Hanging out with Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
And that dude, he really did. He got addicted to smoking big old stogies.
I wish we would have been able to elect Arnold Schwarzenegger as president of the United
I
States.
know. I don't care how many babysitters he slept with. Do
you
you?
know,
Do you?
It could be worse.
I don't.
It could be worse. I don't care. Like,
Hey, man.
I feel like he would have been. He was the American
You think
dream.
Mr. Olympia can't sleep with a babysitter? She was. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. She's not like. She was like older.
Yeah, She was of age.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, Arnold's just going crazy.
Yeah, Arnold is just full of testosterone all the time. Big guy.
He's got to just be terrible.
Or like the fucking coolest. It's one of the two.
Well, as a person, I'm sure cool, but I just mean like, like that can't be sexy. There's no way there's no way he comes hot. You think?
Ray Romano's
Do you think
the same
Arnold
way.
comes hot?
No.
Nah, me neither.
No,
It's got to be.
it's not for pleasure. It's for,
You say Ray Romano?
Yeah, Ray Romano's got the same type of voice.
That's good. That's incoming.
Yeah, that's terrible. Who would? Oh man!
Thank God they're good writers, huh?
Yeah, that's the only reason that show only had 2 kids in that show. Deborah was not having any more of that.
Hell yeah. Hey, I think we're going to cut into the next segment if we can. We're going to do the Michiganian Historanian. Yes.
Michiganian Historanian, the Michiganian Historanian, Michiganian Historanian, the Michiganian Historanian, Michiganian the Historanian, the Michiganian the Historanian, Michiganian the Historanian, Michiganian the Historanian.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Michiganian Historanian. The news source today is we're going to be talking about the Toledo War.
Which anybody that grew up in Michigan should know about.
If you are from Michigan, you need to know about the Toledo War. But basically, this was before Michigan was a state. Michigan was vying for statehood. It was a territory at this time. And in the middle of its time, I'll get the exact details, but the Toledo War was from 1835 to 1836. It's also known as the Michigan-Ohio War, or the Ohio-Michigan War, if you're a fucking traitor. It was a boundary dispute between the United States and basically the U.S. state of Ohio and the adjoining territory of the time of Michigan, which had a disagreement about the Toledo Strip. So there were bad maps at the time that ruled where the bottom of the Great Lakes were. And one of them was a little higher than the other one, and that was the map that Ohio used. One of them was a little lower, and Michigan, which was correct, that was connected to it. And Toledo was right on the line. So the dispute caused actual fighting. There were militias that got ready for it. The losses were... there were no losses, but there was one wounded, no deaths.
No deaths.
No deaths because in exchange for ceding the Toledo Strip, in exchange for Michigan giving up the tiny, shit, stinky town of Toledo, we were gifted what's now known as the entire Upper Peninsula.
Shout out to trees and nature, baby.
The entire Upper Peninsula. So if you're wondering, how did Wisconsin not get that territory? Well, number one, Wisconsin wasn't shit at the time. And all of that upper space was considered going to be a regular territory.
Right.
But we got it all just for Toledo.
Yeah.
Just for Toledo.
I'm like, unless they thought we were going to try to move into Cleveland as well, but you can also keep that shithole.
Hell,
You
they're
know?
lucky we didn't.
Toledo is a dumpster fire.
Toledo's a dumpster fire. By the way, this is obviously going to be a bit about history and another little bit about just hating on Ohio because they suck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
they do.
They do suck
pretty
so bad.
Pretty bad.
So bad.
Toledo does have the Toledo Zoo, but there are, it's not what it was.
Yes.
And it also means you have to drive into Toledo, which means have fun going from 70 miles an hour on 75 down to 65. And if you don't get to that 65, woo, every time.
They're the worst.
Every time. They know. They see your Michigan plates.
And that's the thing.
And they're like, that's $125
They don't
right
give
there.
a shit. They're like, oh, you remember what happened this year? You're national champs. Yeah, guess what? Not down here.
Yeah.
Not in the Buckeye State. Those bastards. And here's the thing is, so in exchange for it, Congress proposed that the Upper Peninsula be given to Michigan in exchange for their claim to the Toledo Strip. And then only a few years later, like 3 years later, they found mineral ore up there. They found copper, they found iron, and they also created an entire logging industry.
There were so many trees up there, and there still are so many trees up there.
So many trees.
But yeah, there was
So many goddamn trees.
so many fucking
But
trees.
we have one of the largest. We have one of the largest old pine tree forests in North America or in America itself, because most of them are in Canada.
That's insane.
But we have some pine trees in the Upper Peninsula that have like 4 and 5 foot diameter. They're like 80, 90 footers. They are humongous trees, and they're fantastic. That's just another thing about Michigan being awesome.
Yeah, no, think about it. You think the United States government said in the territory of Michigan,
Yes.
all right, you're going to give up this little itty bitty piece.
Yes.
And we're going to give you, just by the numbers, this.
Yep. And
You think Ohio heard that? Like, no, we want that. And they're like, no, technically you can't touch that.
No. And at first we were pissed, right? Because Congress had proposed that Michigan take the deal, and they didn't like it at the time, because you have to think at the time this is all unknown territory,
right.
And Michigan's not connected to it. There's no Mackinac Bridge, which is, again, hey, for you listening, the largest suspension bridge in North America.
That is true.
5 miles long.
That is true. Michigan history.
But they didn't know what they were going to do with it. And Toledo was an actual established city, which was going to give them a right to statehood, they thought. But Andrew Jackson, the president at the time, wanted to force Michigan into the deal, so he started restricting funding for Michigan territory, for the territory. So they basically were kind of forced to take the deal or not get federal assistance. And so Michigan kind of angrily takes the deal. They angrily accept it, but then they find the ore. And once the ore is there, it becomes a bustling industry. We find Tequamanon Falls, Sturgeon River Gorge, Munising Falls, Kitchitikipi, which is one of the most awesome natural springs that Native Americans used to visit and look at the stars in.
I feel like the Upper Peninsula was like a good episode of Storage Wars. Like, they're like, all right, this is what we've got. All you can see is this is the dimensions of this place. This is what you got. Bid on it, whatever, and we'll give it to you. And then they get it, and they're just like, oh,
yeah.
I got that signed picture of Nancy Sinatra. That's gonna make a pretty penny for us.
You open it up, and it was like OJ's other glove. Fuck yeah, hell yeah, man! I'm gonna be rich.
Yeah, just is this an original pair of Jordan 1?
Dude,
signed by Michael
Toledo
Jordan.
and the copper mines, and then not to mention that. Then we have the Sault Ste. Marie, where we connect trade with Canada all across. Now, this isn't connected with Toledo, but when we become a state, that allows all that trade. And the Sault Ste. Marie, we'll have to talk about this on another Michiganian Historanian, but the Sioux Locks, the Sault Ste. Marie, the canals there is legendary, man.
Right.
Legendary ships have passed through it. Thousands and thousands of tons of iron ore.
And you know what?
Funding and helping the cities.
For not getting Toledo. Boo.
What a trade. What a trade. Here's the way you know you really want it. When you know you really want it is no one vacations in fucking Toledo.
I think if you do, there's a problem. I think you need to have a conversation with somebody and be like, hey, this is what's going on in my life, and this is what drove me to spend a week in
good
Toledo,
riddance,
Ohio.
Toledo.
Like, could you do a weekend in Toledo? Sure. If you got like a friend that unfortunately lives there, and you like, okay, we'll go see a Mud Hens game, and then maybe drive back. Okay. Or you go to Cedar Point and stay in Toledo. Something like that.
Oh, now rock a little Cedar Point.
Yeah, that's a little different.
I won't stay. I don't stay the night though. I just don't believe in it.
Right, I don't either. You gotta go back.
I'll come home. I'm coming home. Even if I stay the night, I'll stay the night in Michigan. I mean that.
Oh no, absolutely.
I ain't going over
safer.
to the
you are
Snake's
safer.
Den.
You
hanging
are
out, but I
safer.
will ride some pretty sweet roller coasters down there.
Absolutely, I can't do roller coasters.
You don't ride?
I can't do them.
Like the roller coasters?
Because I've got the hearing loss in that ear. My equilibrium is off.
Oh,
so when I go on roller coasters, I go into full panic mode.
Oh, you
My
shake,
body
rattle, and roll.
Just shuts down.
Oh, do you pass out?
Yeah, I blacked out last time I went on a roller coaster.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
I don't black out, but I scream and I laugh.
Yeah, which
I realize when I die, I'm gonna die laughing if it's a scary situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Not because I think it's funny. I just like my reaction to near death experiences is to just ironically laugh. My whole family was on a plane. We were landing in Denver Airport, and we had to do circles around the airport because of the turbulence, and it was shaking the shit out of the plane. And my sister, like the kids were in there. It was like my whole family.
Yeah.
And they were scared to death. And my dad was like, I think we'll be all right. We'll be all right. And I was just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We have no control over this. You can't do anything.
Literally, I am.
You
not
have to be
flying
okay
the
with
plane.
it. There's
Yeah.
nothing you can do.
It's just me.
We control none of this.
No, why? Yeah, it's not in my hands.
Nah, they used to say, and this is, I know I'm white and I have to talk about World War II, but the British uniquely would laugh. Like they would still have PTSD, they still have issues with it, but when the Brits would get shelled and it would be in the middle of the absolute worst bombing and shelling, you could hear them hysterically fucking laughing. Like they were just laughing. Some of them laughing like hard, some of them laughing as a joke, and some of them like intimidatingly laughing at it, like just being like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Like, dude, they were so morbid. They were so morbid. And the other part that I remember is there's a French soldier talking about Verdun, where they were fighting in France, and it was one of the worst spots with huge artillery shells. There were huge gaps from their artillery that made holes in the ground that got filled with rain and mud water, and people would die in that. It was like quicksand. And a few people that were off the boards walking to the main line had died, and one guy's hand was up and dead, just his hand above this quicksand. And he's just dead there.
Christ.
And everybody, this French soldier writes about how the British people would walk to the front line fucking high-fiving him. Cheerio, chop, cheerio, on the way.
And
Here we
that
go.
is the
Here we
birth
go,
of
chop.
the high five.
And they were literally tapping this dude's hand walking into like the absolute shit show of World War One. Oh yeah, it was World War One. I'm sorry. Yeah, just absolute shit show of it. High-fiving a dead man's hand. Here we go, on the way. Hop to.
And then did we learn our lesson? No, because
Nah.
everybody loves a sequel.
But that's a hardy ass people, those Brits.
Oh, they really are. Stiff upper lip.
Stiff upper lip. Oh, Winston.
Yeah, these they don't make politicians like that anymore.
God.
As in like ones that smoke. Like
Yeah.
I think that's part of it.
It's just a bunch of cowards now. They didn't got no smoking.
Yeah,
people.
no, Obama was smoking cigarettes for a while. That was kind of cool.
That was cool.
But like, I don't think we've had like a regularly smoking president since shit.
Do you know what Obama smoked?
I don't want to say Newports, but it's possible. I don't know what he's smoking.
Yeah, it is possible that Obama smoked Newports.
It's also possible that he smoked American spirits. Who
I was gonna
knows?
say, maybe if Obama smoked American spirits, I'll leave this podcast right now. Yeah, he's had to have gone a level up from that. Nothing against you, American spirit smokers.
Oh, could you imagine if he's just like smoking parliaments?
Oh,
like,
wouldn't that be dope?
just
Just
like he
straight
bites the tip.
parliaments?
He just bites the tip. He's like, I know some people use this for cocaine. But not me.
I enjoy the smooth flavor.
I just like the bite down on it.
That's great.
Are we looking on Google to see what he was smoking? Because
Can we Google it? The
I'm
internet.
sure somebody knows.
Can we Google it, and then can we see if the internet has porn about what cigarettes Obama smokes?
I had looked up how the high five was invented because you had said that in the middle there.
Yeah, how was the high five invented, Kyle?
It's right there.
Okay, so it says the most widely accepted story about the invention of the high five is from a 1977 baseball game between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Houston Astros. On October 2nd, 1977, rookie outfielder Glenn Burke, who had to be white, greeted his teammate Dusty Baker, who is black, at home plate after Baker hit his 30th home run of the season by raising his hand in the air and slapping Baker's hand.
Slap hands.
Well, now listen. If you had never seen that before in the stands, and he was like, he did fucking what? For why?
But I also think
it seems so cool.
I feel like this is the first incarnation of it with a white guy and a black guy.
It is. They're trying to. I think baseball's making a move here. Let me finish this real quick.
Churching it up.
Yeah, they're church. Thank you, Kyle. They're churching it up.
That's the best way to put it.
It says Dusty Baker was at home plate after he hit his 30th. Said Baker later said he didn't know what to do. He reached up and he hit Burke's hand. The move caught on with the team. The Dodgers even made posters to teach fans how to do it. To teach fans how to put their fucking hands together. You know how you do this? You know how you do this?
do it with another
you do it with
person.
another person. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, it's amazing, you guys.
Come on down to the ballpark and learn a new handshake.
Oh, that's
Learn a new hand signal with your friends and celebrate big wins for the Dodgers.
Some say that the high five may have originated as long ago as World War II.
Hell yeah, dude. High five, man. High five. I bet you came before that.
Yeah,
You know how long people have been touching hands? What's the handshake but a low high five with a
Pretty
with
much.
a hold?
Apparently, there was a low five before the high five, according to this theory.
Ooh. Now, however, there are origin stories from the high five, including Wiley Brown and Derek Smith. Now, Wiley Brown, jury out on that being a white or black guy.
Oh, that's
Derek Smith, probably white, I'd guess, but you know, who
that's
knows?
black.
Okay.
Gotta be.
Yeah, difference of opinion there. Wiley Brown and Derek Smith. In practice, Brown tried to give Smith a low five, but Smith stopped him and said, up high instead. Brown says this was to commemorate how the University of Louisville basketball team played up high.
Oh.
Which, hey, man, what was it? Raise the Roof? That was some, Lisa Leslie shit?
Yeah.
Raise the Roof?
Raise the roof, everybody.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, maybe sports invented it. World War II, some say the high five may have been originated as long ago as World War II. That ain't a fucking story. The other one is
This is like we have a
They're
sentence.
like, oh, wait, well, we invented it in World War II. Yeah, what? When you're fighting the Japs, you liars? You know?
Yeah, most of it's about that Glenn Burke, though.
You know what?
I think the Glenn Burke shit might be real.
Which isn't it crazy?
Glenn Burke?
30 for 30 on the high five. There it is. There's your origin, boys.
Isn't it crazy that the high five is younger than our presidential candidates?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Our presidential candidates are older than the fucking high five.
When you
Wow.
Yeah. That just
God
makes
damn.
me like, I don't know if I'm sad or just like, yeah, this is
Dude.
what was supposed to happen. We're fucked. We're fucked, everybody.
Well, here's the only good thing about old people this old in the game.
They die.
They die.
Yeah,
They
that's-
do die.
You know, not saying
Not saying all old people, but these two old people, like, to cycle it out. Come on, a little freshen up there.
They had a long, memorable run. I'm not going to even say good or bad. They had a long, memorable run.
History will remember them as being people.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them presidents,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yes. Maybe one twice.
Guaranteed one of them twice.
And one of them just once.
Unless we're getting RFK Jr., baby. Give me that mind worm. Give me the brain worm, man.
I actually think he's got great policies, but there's no way you can. Dude, honestly, I'm cheap and I'm low like this, but the guy that can't talk like that be the goddamn president of the United States.
No, because he sounds like he smokes, and maybe that's why we don't have smoking presidents.
Well, he sounds
anymore.
like he smokes, but he also sounds like he's not tough. It's like a not tough smoker.
Oh yeah, no. He's that guy you see talking to himself a lot.
Yeah.
And he's like psyching himself up. And you're like, I don't want to talk to
That
this guy.
brainworm shit is a bad thing to tell people that you had when you're running for president, huh?
I
So I
feel
had
like
a worm that ate my brain?
I feel like he thinks that everybody else has a brain worm, so he's like, look, as soon as we admit it, we're all going to be much happier.
Because of the vaccines.
Just, yeah, like, you know, because I didn't have polio as a child, now the part of my brain is being eaten by a worm.
He was the one that saluted JFK's casket, right? Wasn't that
No,
him?
that was JFK Jr., the one that QAnon's thinking he's coming back to save us all.
But isn't JFK Jr. dead in the bottom of the sea?
Yeah, Martha's Vineyard, yeah.
What, he hit Martha's Vineyard? What happened to him?
He took his plane out and went flying and
Oh yeah, and went low, hit the water, right?
Apparently one of the instruments was not working and crashed
and he went right into the water.
I think QAnon thinks he's coming back to save the world. So there's
well,
that.
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope QAnon's right. How about you?
You know, well, I think
what the fuck?
I would think if RFK Jr. would have been smart, he would have tried to get to those people and be like, look, my cousin, John F. Kennedy Jr., and myself, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., we will get together and, like, I'll
tell you what he says.
Yeah, I'll let you exactly know, and we're going to change the world.
I'll tell you what my friend RFK Jr. says.
Yeah, because Robert Kennedy is, like, one of my favorite political figures ever. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like,
JFK or Rob Kennedy.
yeah,
Bobby.
Bobby Kennedy was like to me, that's where
Shot by
American
Sirhan.
Yeah, that's when, you know, okay, American politics is probably going to be done for like a long time, because he was, I think, the last guy that was like, all right, this is how we're going to change things and make things better for
I think
everybody.
people forget that was a that he was actually a civil rights death.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because Bobby Kennedy, I'm not saying that he was like the best spokesperson, but Bobby Kennedy was the face of the next big progressive push movement that got stopped early.
Yeah, and instead we got Nixon. So, which I mean
Hey,
did
man.
give us.
Man.
I will say
I like me a little Nixon. I'll be honest.
we all
I
like a little
me
tricky
little
dick.
Nixon.
We all like a little tricky.
Tell
dick.
me a guy that is just gets he. I loved his plan with them, where he goes this sounds really mad and dirty, but you got to think the guy's trying to end a war, but he goes in there and the first thing he's not allowed to do is bomb Laos, and that's where the Ho Chi Minh Trail is, and the first thing he does is drop just a shit ton of tonnage on it and be like, yes, I
Yep.
can. You don't know what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And that did help a little bit, but what I love about him is just how crazy funny he was in those recordings. Some of his recordings were the worst, but the funniest.
He was a nut.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild that's what we got instead. Instead of getting Bobby Kennedy, we get Richard Nixon, which
There's
then
a
also
silent majority.
which also then opened the trade gates with China. We were not trading with China.
Nixon linked up with China.
And then Nixon went over there and be like, look,
China.
you have a lot of people here that can make a lot of stuff, and most of them are children. We will pay for that stuff. Just please keep making us stuff.
Yeah, make us more stuff.
And we will buy it. And then look at us now. We're reliant on them, and they are reliant on us.
When I was a kid, I learned, I can't remember where I saw it, but the word CH I knew made sound like from machine.
Yeah.
And when I was learning how to read, my sisters asked me where all my dinosaurs were made from. And I said, made in China.
Made in China.
And they called me China Baby.
China baby. That sounds
China Baby.
That sounds like a racial slur.
It was.
That sounds like a racial slur.
Yeah, I think they were racist for doing that.
Ooh,
It definitely didn't help my spirits.
Yeah.
They called me China Baby.
Hey, little China baby.
China Baby. Yeah, which honestly, like you said, that sounds so racist.
That sounds terrible. That
Yeah.
just sounds like, all right, just because they were born somewhere else.
And it's funny how that happens.
Yeah,
You just think you're being a mean sister, but turns out you're racist.
It turns out there's some deep.
So take that, Emily.
There's some deep-seated
No, I'm
hatred
just kidding.
there.
She's not.
No, she's probably
She's
very,
all
very
right.
sweet most of the time.
Kinda.
Yeah.
She's all right. She's middle sister, so kinda.
Yeah, no, middle kid. That's
Emily nice to your face. She'll also punch you in the nuts.
You've got 3 sisters, correct?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so there's like middle older, middle younger.
Yeah.
Is there like that weird dynamic? Because I'm
It's weird as hell. Yeah.
just with one older, one younger. So I'm smack dab.
So
middle.
this is with 3 of them. It's weird because the oldest sister has the oldest sister role.
Yeah.
Middle sister's middle sister role. I have youngest, and the youngest sister has like half of both, which is not equal in a way.
No, it's giving
You know what I
them
mean?
a
Like, 'cause
little
she's
bit-
not the youngest, so she doesn't get the advantage of the youngest stuff, and she's not the middle,
So you're
so
not
she doesn't
getting-
get the credit for being the mad, could be angry, but you understand it, middle sister.
Right.
So she just basically just didn't get understood.
Yeah, no, she just gets talked to.
So she would yell and scream and shout, and everyone would be like,
They're like,
but it was because like she really did have like, hey,
what's
come on.
the age difference between you and your?
We're all 2 years up and up. So it
Okay,
was like,
so-
I'm 30, I'm 37, 39, 41.
So she
yeah.
had a while, like even 2 years is still long enough to like beat the baby, and then when you're not the baby anymore, it's
Yeah.
like
Yep, exactly.
dynamics off.
Move
forever.
on out. Youngest and only boy coming through, huh?
Yeah, the savior is here.
I made them all mad when I was a kid because I would always go, yeah, they'll give me what I want, and there's nothing you can do about it. You better watch your P's and Q's. They treat me different. They love me more.
Yeah,
I used to be mean to them. That worked.
I'm sorry. I get to carry on the last name.
My dad actually. I honestly. I am a kid born of a vasectomy.
You're
My dad had a vasectomy and
You
it
are
didn't
the
work.
1%.
He
Congratulations.
did twice.
What?
So that's a powerful seed, son. My dad was gonna make babies no matter what.
Oh, those
He had a
elderberries,
he had
bro.
a-
Those
yeah.
elderberries.
But when he was supposed to have Emily, the mean one, she's nice now. She's
She's mellowed out.
She's a social worker, so she helps a lot of people to make up for how mean she was when she was a kid.
That's usually how it goes.
But before she was born, it was just my oldest sister, and My mom and dad were in my hometown, which is tiny, and they know everybody.
Right.
And they were married, had been married for 2 years at this point. And dad was going to go into the store and buy condoms. And was embarrassed to buy condoms, even though he's been married for 2 years, and he's going to use them with, because the neighbor was the clerk.
Classic.
Our neighbor June, Big June, and so my dad was scared to get them in front of Big June, so he ends up, instead of getting condoms, he walks out with a newspaper and a Butterfinger, and then 9 months later, Emily was born.
Oh.
So she's per inflation, she's dad's like $1.40 little mistake.
I'm glad it was
Take that. You
probably
have no voice to speak back.
I hope it started
I'm
with
just
some
kidding. I love my
Butterfinger,
sister.
though. I really hope it started with some Butterfinger.
I don't want to get into the intimate details of it, to be honest. But I will say, though, Emily is good. She's nice. She was mean as hell growing up. But
yeah, good.
What's a middle sister to not be the mean one that hits?
No, that's generally it.
Right?
But like the middle of the boys, you're not.
Yeah. And then what's in your family? How's the order go?
So there's my older brother who is 2 years older than myself.
Okay.
And then my younger brother is a year younger than I am.
Nice.
So it's very, very close. And power struggles often happened. So it really was, you had to kind of either know when you had something and you were able to move on something, or know when you had to use something as leverage to team up on somebody else.
It was a survivor game. You're trying to not put the flames out.
Yeah, no, it's we would get physical, we'd fight a little bit. But I've pretty much talked myself out of every ass beating since I was like 13.
That's pretty good.
Like I know how to, it's like, all right, look,
negotiate the middle.
We don't need to do this, because if we start throwing hands, we're all gonna get in trouble here.
Yeah, and no one wants that.
Yeah, we all wore glasses too. There's anybody that wore glasses growing up, even now. If someone were to break my glasses, I'll find your whole family.
Yeah, your mother or father take a life for
Liam
that.
Neeson taken. This shit is over. If you break my glasses, it is game over.
Heard that.
But that was the thing, because we all wore glasses, and it's like, okay, take them off and we'll swing.
Oh yeah.
Well, couldn't
blind fight.
Couldn't do that.
You guys had blind fights.
We were so blind. But then the other thing was, my older brother had like a history of like mouth surgeries. He had like some fucked up teeth stuff that he had to get fixed. So my mom always said, if you hit your older brother in the face, your life will be over. We have spent thousands of dollars to make this.
To give your brother a normal face.
Yeah, to fix his mouth. And you're not going to ruin it because you get angry at him. It's like, oh, that's not fucking fair.
Well, that's not brotherhood.
That's not fucking fair at all.
Brothers cause thousands of dollars in damage.
Oh, he chipped his tooth one time, and we saw the face of God in my mother.
Oh, yeah.
We were trying to do like a little luge thing down the driveway, but just like laying on like an old shitty skateboard. You hit a dip in the driveway, because that happens, and it hit him right in the tooth. Chipped it, and my mom got home. This was one of the first times my mom let us like stay home alone too.
Oh man,
classic,
risking it.
Classic, and we had to put his chipped part of the tooth in a bag of milk.
Yeah, did you put it in like a little wrap in milk?
And then drove to the dentist, which was about 45 minutes away.
Oh God, with a big ass chipped tooth.
With a big ass chipped tooth. Realistically, it should not have been a 45-minute car ride. It should have been about 15. But my mom refuses to use the freeway.
Oh, okay. Well, hey.
She's like,
your tooth be damned. I don't go faster than 55.
She's like, I'm not doing faster than 60. We're not going on the freeway. It's like, oh, thanks, Mom.
Hot, good mom, safe mom.
Yeah.
Safe mom, good mom.
No, when
double bags of groceries even.
She tells me all the time, if you're not double bagging groceries, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Saving
Ain't first or last, double bag them.
Saving the environment, not using too many fucking bags.
If you don't eat Big Red, then fuck you. Right?
Fuck you.
Hell yeah, dude. Good stuff, man. Do you have any shows coming up? Any big spots you're hitting?
So this will probably come out, I would imagine, after I do it. But I've got a show in Kalamazoo, Michigan this Saturday, June 1st, to kick off Pride Month. It is a straight man LGBTQ plus opener, or headliner. So it's I believe you're on the show with me.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
yeah.
we're the straight
white guys.
We're the straight guys.
Well, we're the white guys too, but they don't. We're just the straight
we're
guys
the
this time.
straight guys for the sake
but
of the
I'll
show.
bring the whiteness as well. I
it's
plan on it.
Same. That's kind of my go-to.
I got the ranch.
Yeah, exactly. I will bring the horrible nasally voice. But yeah, that'll be a fun show. We'll get to be the straights for our gays, and that'll be nice. Other than that, not much booked right now.
Rocking the old tip top.
Robbing old tip top every Tuesday till Jesus comes back. Which I'm trying to get some stuff together for stuff in the end of the summer. So
nice, and you run showcases out at Tip Top and such as well.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to get a nice showcase going towards the end of August. Gonna see what I can do there. So
fantastic, man.
Very, very fun stuff ahead.
Hell yeah. Well, A-Plot, I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for stopping in, man. Always good to see you. And I'm sure we'll have you back on again.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun, man. We always do. We always do. Because the other thing is, I don't know if you guys know this, but Joe likes UFC.
I do. I like to fight.
And I also like UFC.
We gotta catch the fights too, man.
Because consensual violence is the best.
Isn't it?
Non-consensual violence is terrible. No, don't hurt people.
Yeah.
Don't do it. But when you're both saying, let's do this, let's fucking go. Baby.
Yeah,
let's go.
Maybe you and I can do a Fat Companion fight cover where we watch the fights instead of Fight Companion. We'll do Fat Companion.
Fat Companion's
where we're two white guys that don't do MMA that like MMA and watch it together.
Like, I know that am going to take one punch and die.
Oh shit, yeah. I used to do it a long time ago, but I that was a long time ago, and I'm old. I can't do shit now.
Yeah,
I want you to leave me alone.
But I can also understand what you should be doing, which is not getting your ass kicked.
Hell yeah. Yeah, fight harder, right?
Yeah.
Get up.
Sweat
just get
more.
Why don't
Sweat
they
more? Block it.
Why don't they just get up? That's what I always say. I'm a good coach. Dude, just get up.
Move your ass.
Get up so you can punch him instead of him punch you.
Rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine.
You're such a good coach.
Oh.
Hell yeah. But hey, man, thanks for popping in. We
Always.
appreciate you. Love you, buddy.
Love you, dude.
We'll be back with another episode of Respect Your Elders podcast in a couple weeks. Good to see y'all. Catch you later.